Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from the relationships subreddit from No Name Barista, who says, me, male 17, I saw my girlfriend's sister, 24, full making out with a man, not her fiance, at my work. I'm confused what to do. I work at a coffee shop and I saw my girlfriend's sister full on making out with this guy. They were all over each other. We were really busy and I never would have noticed them except that my co-workers pointed them out because they need a room, this is a coffee shop. I immediately recognized her and she's supposed to get married in July to another guy. They could not see me. I didn't want to get involved, but after they left I came out to clean some tables, thinking the coast was clear. She came back in for something. I think to use the restroom, or she forgot something. She saw me and flipped and started begging me to tell her what I saw. I said I didn't see anything, but she somehow knew. She left but told me that we weren't done and that we had to talk. I got home and my girlfriend texted me, asking me what's going on with me and her sister. I don't know what she told her, but I said I don't know. She keeps texting me that her sister is upset and that I should come over. Not to sound like a little kid, but I'm not allowed to leave the house at this time. I text that my parents won't let me go there. She said they will drive to my house if I sneak out to meet them. I said that would be hard. She said please. What can I do? What should I do? I'm a little freaked out right now. Bloody hell, imagine being 17 and having to deal with this kind of stuff. And clearly the sisters have been discussing this and she's probably told some bullshit story to her. It's probably likely gonna paint you as the bad guy along the way if you don't back the sister up, basically. And the fact that the girlfriend was saying come and meet them, that they will meet them. So the sister, a 24-year-old, is trying to get him out past whatever time he's allowed out to meet with her to discuss this. That's all red flag behavior in my opinion. But a commenter says to OP, keeping it to yourself, as you said you planned, was probably the best idea. But if the sister has already told your girlfriend that something has happened, you'll know in the middle whether you like it or not. I'd say something to your girlfriend like, your sister needs to tell you what happened, it's not my place and I don't want to be involved in this drama. Hopefully the sister will have the courage to be honest with your girlfriend. OP says, okay, thank you. I'm desperate, she keeps texting me. Commenter says, wow, since her sister is freaking out so much, it sounds like the truth is going to end up coming out. Don't stress yourself out too much. You're not the guilty party, you're just a witness. I'm not sure why her sister didn't just try to forget it and pretend nothing happened. Now she's making it into a much bigger deal and there's a good chance the secret's gonna get out. OP says, by coming out you mean the fiancé is going to find out. I'm just stressed because I know it's really fucked up what she did. I know the guy she's engaged to. I got to know him last Christmas. He was really cool to me. I feel really bad for him. Commenter says, your girlfriend likely isn't going to stop asking questions until she figures out what's going on. Regardless, it's not your fault if the fiancé finds out, and frankly, it might be in his best interest to know now rather than later. My guess is that her sister will confess but downplay the situation to a friendly kiss. If that happens, it's up to you whether you're okay with that version or not. There is no right answer about how you should handle this. You're going to have to go with your own conscience about what feels right. You sound like a nice guy. Sorry you find yourself in this situation. OP says no right answer, huh? What feels right? Nothing is feeling right at this point. Keeping quiet feels wrong, and saying something feels wrong. So, what do you do when everything feels wrong? I mean, what would you do? Commenter says, ultimately, the sister created drama by kissing the guy. Then she created more drama by telling her sister something happened that somehow involved you. So frankly, you could just text the truth, that you saw X making out with a guy at work, and let the chips fall where they may. It sounds like you were willing to let it all go away quietly, but the sister seems to have messed up that option. That is not your fault. You didn't create the situation, so don't feel guilty about telling the truth when asked point blank what happened, if that's what you want to do. OP says, I can tell my girlfriend the truth, that's not a problem, but I feel bad for the fiancé. I think he should know. I know I was willing to play dumb, but I'm trying to put myself in his place, and I would want to know. I think I should tell him, but if he doesn't believe me, then what? I really feel bad for him. He was too cool to me for me to just, not say something. I bet if I was 10 years older, I would know exactly what to do. I think I would. So it was after 10 days that OP came in with her first update and said I finally told my girlfriend that I definitely could not sneak out of my house the night of the kissing. I told my girlfriend what I saw the next day. She said her sister is saying that's not what happened at all. She says that she hugged the guy hello because she knows him and ran into him there. Then she says she hugged him and kissed him on the cheek, but that he did get a little too hands-on with her and she immediately stopped it. I said okay, if that's what it is, then that's what it is. I was working anyway, so whatever she says is what must have happened. So she texts me later saying the sister wants to talk to me, but by then I was out with my parents. They have no cell phone rule when we're in family outings, so my phone was in the car all day. When I did talk to the sister, she told me that the guy tried to get too touchy with her, and that's probably the part I had seen, but that it wasn't the makeout session that I thought. I said that's not what I saw, but it's not my business. She was really pissed that I wouldn't budge, but then I got some voicemails from the guy she kissed that night. He said that if I didn't answer his calls, he would personally come see me at work. I didn't know if that was a threat, but I did get kind of nervous. I told my supervisor at work. He said if the guy shows up, he'll take care of it. The guy showed up and asked for me, so he got kicked out of the coffee shop and got in a big heated argument with my supervisor outside. He never came back, so I was glad about that. My girlfriend broke up with me right after that, so I decided to just concentrate on finishing the school year strong. There are other girls that I have possible dates with, but losing my girlfriend is hard. I'm Facebook friends with the guy who got cheated on. I like him. He was always cool to me, but I'm not sure he would ever believe me anyway. My ex-girlfriend texts me really often, but I rarely respond to those as much as I want to. I'm still confused as to how we are the ones that ended up breaking up over somebody else's cheating. Edit. I came into work today and spoke to my supervisor again, since he was one of the witnesses to the cheating. I told him I'm kind of friends with a guy being cheated on. He said call the guy and tell him to come in for some coffee on the house. Then we can talk to him together in his office. At that point, he says I can show him what I have, and he can also talk to the girls who witnessed the whole thing with us. So I'm going to message him on Facebook and see if he answers. If he does, I'm sure all hell will break loose. The commenter quotes my girlfriend broke up with me right after that and says, what was her reason? Could it be that her sister poisoned you against her because you are problematic for her current situation? Opie says her reason was that she has to be loyal to her sister, and right now, her sister has a big problem with me. Armchair Anger says, honestly, it sounds like you probably dodged a bullet here. You tried to avoid becoming wrapped up in the situation repeatedly, but her and her sister kept trying to convince you anyways. The fact that the guy then contacted you to threaten you, even if there was no explicit threat. If you don't answer my calls or show up at your work, is still an implicit threat, is nuts. That's all sorts of sketchy and worrying. If it were actually a situation of, oh, he got handsy but I stopped it, there's no way that the sister would be contacting him to try and get him to shut you up. It's up to you whether or not you want to let a fiancé know that he's engaged to someone who's sending a grown man to threaten a teenager. But I will warn you, it's pretty easy for them to frame it as, oh, he's just acting out because my little sister broke up with him. If you still have the voicemail, you should probably send it to him as proof if you decide to inform him. Personally, I'd err on the side of caution and not get involved in that shitstorm. You're a kid. You don't need to deal with a grown couple's infidelity problems or risk having a side piece come after you again. Opie says I have the emails and all the text messages. I kept them in case I have to explain stuff to my parents or the authorities. You never know. Piggold says, you need to tell your supervisor just how cool and awesome he is. No, really, you need to. You got lots of integrity and you still will when you and your supervisor sit him down and tell him the bad news. He needs to know. He deserves it. Be prepared for possible blowback from your ex and her sister. Rumors and lies and that sort of thing causing problems between you and others you may care about. Take care. Opie says he's pretty cool. It's easy to work for him because he's so easygoing. He's 9 years older than I am and way more experienced overall. He has that everything will be okay attitude. So it was 10 days after that Opie came in with another update and said I PM'd the guy who got cheated on, and his first initial is S, Sam. Sam sent me a message back with his number, so I called. He said that he was told that I started a nasty rumor about his fiancé. I told him that it was about him and that it's true. I told him all about it, but that he could come to the coffee shop and see for himself. He came Wednesday afternoon. My boss and I talked to him and told him the girls saw it too. He believes us, but he is coming back Sunday because the video system holds the last 30 days in memory, so my boss is going to show him. Sam was a little mad but didn't look shocked. He thinks he knows who the guy is, so now this is where all hell broke loose. Sam broke up with his fiancée, so that's it, no wedding. I got a text from my ex that said she hoped I was happy and that her sister's life is ruined. I do feel bad. Last night I was working and my ex's dad barges into the coffee shop, points his finger right at me and says, "You, let's go outside, we're gonna talk." He said it very, very loudly in front of all the customers. I froze for a second, and he said, "Outside, right now, let's go." I said, "Let me clock out first." I walked to the back to my boss's office and told him my ex's dad is here and he's demanding I go outside with him. My boss goes over and says, "Hey, excuse me, how can I help you?" My ex's dad told him it's none of his business and that he wanted me outside like he had all the authority in the world. So my boss says, "Well, this is my place and you either buy coffee or get the hell out. But don't come in here and harass my employees like you own the place. And by the way, in case you were wondering, I'm the one who spoke to Sam and told him what cheater's name here did. So you and I need to go outside and talk." They marched out. Everybody was staring at me. One customer said, "What did you do to that man's coffee to make him so mad at you?" So they talked for like 10 minutes and it looked more like a yelling match. Then he left and my boss came in and said everything is cool. This morning at school I got a text from my ex that said, "Please don't go to work tonight because my sister's friends are planning something." I asked her what, and she said just please don't go and that she loved me. I'm not gonna lie, I did get kind of scared, not to be a wuss. So I called my dad at work and told him everything. My parents came to get me at school, but when I went in the office, the cops were there, with my ex in the assistant principal's office, and I could see she was crying. One of the cops came out and my dad gave him my phone. My mum took me home and gave me her phone, then went back to the school. I called my boss and he said he is sure the cops will come talk to me later. He told me to keep cool and let him know if I need anything. Then I got a text from Sam that said, "Hey, this is Sam, are you okay? Your boss just called me." I called him and told him what I knew, but I'm not sure what's going on right now, so I'm waiting for my parents to get home to find out. I know Sam had to know, and he said I did the absolute best thing by telling him and that he owes me big time. But I can't say I feel totally great. It's not your average high school drama. It feels like I started something, then a tornado picked me up and there's nothing I can do as it spins me around. You don't know where you're going to end up and you have no control. It's not easy, that's all I'm saying, but right now it's just a waiting game. Jarl of Detroit says, "Dude, considering this guy was engaged, you literally saved his life. Imagine if he married this woman and then divorced later or had kids. Hell, a divorce alone saved him half his net worth. Now he doesn't have to pay out for a wedding and future divorce with this cheating bimbo. Props on you." He said he already paid some of the money for the wedding, which was in July, but he does not care at all to lose that money. Serafina says, "Your boss sounds awesome. Get him a nice thank you gift. Also, it sounds like you did the fiancé a big favor if this is what she and her friends and family are like. Stay safe." Opie says this is totally not how they come across. When you meet them, they're all nice. The dad has always been kind of a jerk, but they're really popular at their church and stuff. They participate in all the charity fundraisers, so they have a good side. But I guess people are not what they always seem to be. Yan says your boss is possibly the coolest boss ever. Please do let him know he is great and now a hero on Reddit. You have done absolutely the right thing, so don't feel bad. Yourself as a hero, and I'm sure Sam appreciates you much. Please stay safe, and now that the police is involved anyways, do get some protections from them if you can. Your ex-girlfriend's family obviously has doubtful moral values, and I'm glad you don't have to be related to them anymore. Your ex-girlfriend herself? Well, a lot of people will call her crazy as well. I do pity her. I imagine her to be doing a lot of the things under the pressure of her family. I mean, if her dad is so crazy that he'd come to your workplace to yell at you, shouldn't he really be yelling at the guy she made out with? I can imagine him verbally, hopefully not physically, abusing your ex to make her leave you. It really is her own responsibility to be strong enough to refuse bullshit for herself, but it is not so easy. Anyway, my point is that she probably didn't want to be a part of this either. Opie says, I don't think she wanted to be a part of this either. I'm sad that because I know she feels pressured by her family, but there is nothing I can do now. At least there is nothing that is coming to my mind to make things easier for her. 7 days after that post, Opie comes in with what was titled their final update and said, okay, long week. A lot has happened, but at the same time, nothing much has happened. My dad gave the cops my phone because my ex denied that she texted me to warn me. They needed a warrant to search her phone, so they wanted mine instead. They also heard the threatening voicemails and texts from the guy who came looking for me. The school called the cops after my dad called them. My ex's dad showed up too, and Dad confronted him about coming to look for me at work. He denied it and said that he came looking for my boss. That is a total lie. The cops ordered him to stay away from me. They sent 2 cops to my house to talk to me. I can honestly say they were totally shocked that all this started because that girl cheated on her boyfriend. They both gave me business cards and their cell numbers for emergencies. My ex finally admitted that her sister's friends were planning on coming to the coffee shop and jumping me, and even bragged about how many bones they would break. I overheard my parents talking about her. My mum said her dad tried to shut her up. She's very worried about what will happen to her at home. The cops talked to my boss on Friday after talking to me, and warned him to call if anything suspicious happened. So guess what? It did. The guy who cheated with his sister was parked behind the coffee shop with an older man. My boss spotted them and they flashed a baseball bat at him. He got their license plates and called the cops, but they were gone when they got there. But I'm pretty sure I have to quit my job now because my parents are going to make me. For now, my mum and dad is taking me to work and my boss is taking me home since I used to walk. My ex texts me all week begging to talk to me. Wednesday, I agreed to meet her before her softball practice. When I got there, the same 2 guys were parked across the street. They chased me, but I run cross country, so no chance. Last night, my dad called me at work to tell me that the cops went to the house to tell them the 2 men were arrested. He said multiple charges, including holding stolen property. The cops also said their criminal problems are big and they won't see the light of day for a long time. My ex has been texting me non-stop swearing she didn't know they were there and didn't know how they knew I was coming. I didn't believe her. I was scared but tried to not show it to my parents. I still think telling Sam was the best thing, but it's just more trouble than I was ready for. I've never been this stressed out in my life. Sam saw the video and my boss said that he broke down, but there is no way he's ever taken her back. He's moving to Utah. His dad owns a big trucking company, so he's transferring. He told my boss that his ex told him that she will follow him to Utah and that she will camp out in his driveway until he forgives her. I did ask my boss what his favorite bottle was and he said Jack Daniels, so I got him one. I won't say how I got it, but I have a connection. Man, that is all for now. Freaking bullshit drama. The top commenter on this one said, do not have any more contact whatsoever with your former girlfriend. Her entire family is insane and dangerous. Change your phone number and block her from social media. You're a brave kid who has done the right thing throughout this crazy ordeal. Hopefully it will soon all be over and you can go back to your life. Opie says, I'm done with her. She's going to get me killed if I don't walk. She is graduating and I have 1 more year of school, so I need to get that done, and then I'm joining my sister in California for college. Then all this will all be behind me. Pesky Human says, I've been waiting for this update. You're a stand-up guy. I'm super impressed with your composure and the way you've handled everything. Be proud. Glad the crazies are locked away. Sorry about having to quit your job, and please update us if you find out ex-sister is pregnant and was theorized by some of your last update. Opie says, my boss thinks she's pregnant for sure. I don't know how to find that out without contacting my ex. I might hear of it if she is, but this is not a small town, so I may not. Another commenter laughs and says, well done. Keep an eye on that ex though. Those guys didn't just happen to show up at the park without someone saying something. Good on you for getting your boss that bottle too. Opie says she says her sister must have seen her text messages on her phone or had her friends follow her to practice. I don't think so. Kathleen says, that's a huge shame about the job. Remember this manager. Get a LinkedIn profile and link to him. When you get successful, remember him a good guy and hire him if he needs it. Don't contact Sam at all. Block her number and friend her on Facebook. She set you up with a couple of convicts, hoping they would beat you up. Did you tell your parents about that incident? I recommend a restraining order. Her bad behavior needs to be on record. She has the decision to learn from her mistakes or keep repeating them. That's her decision. I'm proud of you." And Opie says, "I had a really good chance at getting hired at a pizza place that I eat at sometimes. I'm talking to the manager already just in case, but I really love my current job. I'm trying to convince my parents to let me keep it." Opie, again, 17 years old and dealing with all that kind of shit. The cheating is wild in itself, and then you got the entire adult family going against a 17-year-old for simply telling the truth. The sister cheated, the side guy was making threats, the dad stormed the coffee shop, 2 men showed up with a baseball bat, and the ex potentially set him up. What a bunch of winners there, right? And all of this because one teenager would not lie for them. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from a throwaway account from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit. It says, "Am I the arsehole for refusing to take my brother to school after he made jokes about one of his classmates? My brother, 15, goes to the same private school I attended. It's full of a bunch of spoiled rich kids whose entire identity is surrounded by how much money their parents make. If you don't have a car by 16, you get bullied without a doubt. So a friend shared a TikTok her sister posted, and it was a group of boys bullying a kid waiting for the bus. They were mocking him, laughing at him, and at one point someone off camera threw food at the kid. After a few plays, I recognized 2 kids, one being my brother. I told my parents and they brushed it off saying, 'He's a teen boy, you know how they get.' When my brother got home, I told him what he did wasn't right, and he walked away laughing. I told my mum as long as he continues to bully people and they do nothing about it, I won't take him to school anymore. This will mean he'll have to take public transportation because my parents leave too early for work to take him to school. My parents are livid, saying I'm an arsehole for being so unreasonable and sensitive over a joke. Am I in the wrong here? Hey y'all, so tomorrow is his first day taking the bus since my parents couldn't find anyone else to take him. I'll update you all this weekend and tell you how the week went. It's pretty late, and I don't think I'll keep replying to people, but I want to clarify 2 things. 1, I bought my car with my money. My parents didn't. It's not their car, it's mine. 2, I'm not parenting my brother. I don't know how anyone jumped to that conclusion. If I no longer wish to go out of my way and pay for gas to take him to and from school every day, I don't have to. Like I said, he has the bus to take, and all it costs for kids under 18 is $1. $2 a day is not going to hurt my parents in the slightest. Lol. Guys, I would take the bullied kid to school if I knew who he was. The principal and vice principal had the video sent to them already, so if I find out who the kid is, I'll see if his parents are okay with me taking him to school. I can't make any promises on anything happening since I know how the school is and how they deal with bullying, and I'm not sharing the TikTok on here. And there seems to be some confusion. I said he goes to the same school I attended, not attend. I've graduated and I'm not a minor. Lol. Okay, and this is the last I'm adding on to this. I don't know how me questioning if my actions were right or wrong led to people discussing me living with my parents. Then again, it's the internet, so I'm not surprised. So I was giving my brother rides even when I was moved out. But I live with a shitty roommate and move back home. And to move back out in less than a month if all works out, and if it doesn't, then I'm at home longer than I anticipated. Why are strangers so bothered my parents aren't forcing me to move out? Imagine seeing your child doing that to another kid, picking on him, throwing food at him, and then just brushing it off as just a teen boy stuff. It pisses me off, that kind of thing does. And OP just showing that they have a moral compass, then both the parents combined, and now suddenly she's the unreasonable one. The absolute bloody cheeky sods. I really hope that the brother does learn a lesson in this. I mean, it doesn't sound like he's going to from his attitude of just laughing and walking off, but we shall see, I guess. Say a song says, not the arsehole. Normally I would say that you should not be the one to punish him, and that he needs to go to school and you should not be interfering with that. But you stated he can take public transportation to get there, and that he is 15, so not a little kid. So there would be no problem with him getting to school on his own. Also, since you appear to not feel comfortable with his bullying ways, I see no reason why you should have to expose yourself to the possibility of having to deal with them by taking him to school every day. So yeah, not the arsehole. Opie says, oh no, I wouldn't deliberately make him miss school. And yeah, the bus ride is 15 to 20 minutes tops. I used to take the bus. The autistic poet says, both your brother and your parents sound like the arseholes. I was bullied all the way through school and it impacted my whole life. I tell you now, if I had kids and someone picked on them, it would be like World War III. I'd be going ballistic. At the same time, if my kids were doing the bullying, I'd go ballistic at them too. There's no place for bullying in school. By doing nothing, your parents are enabling him. Hell, they might as well be at the school at his side cheering him or encouraging him to do more. If he continues on this path, he will have that bully attitude forever. Opie says, yeah, I was also bullied for years for taking the bus, but not as bad as they did the poor kid. Seriously, it messed me up, so I thought my parents would do something about him. So Opie did come in with an update, which came 3 weeks later and said, I apologize for the late update, but here you are. And I added dates so there isn't any confusion. So as I said, I was no longer taking my brother to school. My parents couldn't find anyone else to take him, so he had to take the bus. Someone mentioned why not Uber or Lyft, and that's because my parents don't trust either. Thing is, he was off the hook for the first 3 days, October 27th to 29th, which is why you all didn't get an update that weekend, because my mum let him stay home the first day. Then one of his friends was taking him, which stopped because he was grounded as he was one of the bullies. Then the next Monday to Thursday, November 1st to 4th, he had to get the bus. Monday, November 1st, he still took me as a joke, woke me up and told me to take him to school. I said no, and that's when it hit that I was dead serious. I gave him $1 and told him to go take the bus. And as some of you guessed, he hated it. And according to Mum, I made him have a panic attack because he had to take public transportation. Anyways, yada yada, he missed the bus and was late to school. The other days he took the bus and I didn't hear anything about him being bullied for it. To those of you who claims I was making him take the bus to get bullied. Friday, my mum let him stay home again because, you guessed it, he didn't want to take the bus. So he only took it those 4 days. And for those of you who thinks I stopped taking him as an easy way out, literally piss off, because that is not the case. It's not hard to see why I stopped taking him. You guys are reaching. As for the bullying situation goes, I don't know if every kid has the same punishment, but surprisingly, the school made my brother apologize to the kid, gave him lunch detention, and what do I know? He and everyone involved has to pick up trash for 20 minutes every day after school and on Saturdays, with parents' permission, for 3 weeks. Any kid who posted or reposted the video got into trouble as well. The girl who I seen posted the video deleted it. I want to add about the bullied kid. I contacted his mum, told her about my brother being one of the kids who bullied her son, and apologized on my brother's behalf. But someone who lives nearby was willing to take him to school, so I'm sorry those of you who was looking forward to me taking him, but I wouldn't have been able to anyways because they live too far. Also, on my parents. My mum still believes it's something a teen boy would do, but my dad admitted after seeing the video, regardless of how much or how little my brother participated, he was in the wrong. That's the only reason my brother is picking up trash, because my dad signed off on it since my mum wouldn't. And before anyone gets in the comments about any of these topics, no, I'm not sharing the TikTok. No, I'm not sharing any info about my brother. No, I'm not going to explain my housing situation, which shouldn't have even been brought up. And no, I'm not giving out any information about the school. Again, sorry for the overdue update. Super glad that the dad did come around in the end and saw the severity of what he was doing. Because let's face it, the mum in this situation is doing that guy a big disservice right now. Enabling this kind of behavior is not the way forward. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. Truly is absolutely amazing. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.